Okay, so here's the filter dryer. Okay, that's off. And I'm going to cut this end off. Okay, cap tube goes in there. Remove the Schrader valve. Okay, now in order to get this on, we have to swag this open. Okay, so the discharge line on the Sub-Zero is 3/16 of an inch. This is quarter, so we need to swag this out 3/16 of an inch. This is called a swag tool. Careful, very slowly. You want to open that up. Okay, like that. So now we'll be able to get the discharge line in there. Let's take out the Schrader port. This is a tool that you can buy, but a lot of times they come free when you buy a dryer. Okay, clean out the tubing. Okay. All right, so now let's sand and clean the discharge line. This comes out of the condenser, goes into the filter dryer, through the capillary tube, which is the heat exchanger and also called a metering device. It restricts the flow of refrigerant into the system, and that's what gives you the pressure drop and causes the refrigeration effect. Okay, we'll make a nice clean cut on here. Okay, we'll put some flux. Okay, solder that on there first, then we'll do the cap tube. Now you want to push this into the filter dryer at least an inch. If you look at, be careful how you bend this tubing. If you look at the length of the filter, right in about here, there's a screen. So you don't want to push that cap tube in too far, or you'll pierce the screen, and then the silica gel, which is the drying factor inside the dryer, will get into the capillary system, and then you will be in a lot of trouble. So I'm going to maneuver this around. Make sure you don't kink the line. And we're going to put some flux on here. All right, and now we're going to work this in. I'm going to go in about an inch. Right about there. That should be enough. And we're going to solder that up. And we're going to pressure test the system and make sure there's no leaks. Doesn't take much to heat this copper. It's so thin. And make sure that the dryer is pointing down so that the solder doesn't flow up and seal off the cab tube. I see that a lot. All right, so now we're going to put our Schrader valves back in, and we're going to pressurize the system with air, and then we're going to check for leaks. Don't over tighten it, but don't under tighten it either. Okay, so now we're going to pressurize the system with air. There's a special tool I made up from my shop. You can buy one of these fittings and hook it into a process port. Hook it into your air hose. Open up the system. Now my tank has 120 pounds pressure, and that's usually sufficient, although the factory recommends a little higher. But I haven't had problems with this, checking it at 120 pounds, even though it's telling it's only 70. Let me get some soap bubbles. Check all the joints, even the ones you don't solder. Okay. Looks like we're good on the leaks. What I usually do is I just hook up a hose, let it drain out of the high side. Okay, let it all come out. And then we're going to turn the refrigerator on and let the compressor run with the low side closed until it's pumped out all the air that's in the system. And then we'll close up the valves, secure the filter, and we'll weigh the gas in. Okay, let's plug this in, turn it on. You can hear the air coming out of there. Make sure this valve is closed. And we'll wait and see what this pulls down to. In the meantime, we're going to warm up this Freon tank to transfer the liquid into the charging column until we have 7 ounces, because that's what this freezer takes. You don't want to get it too hot, but once you start putting Freon in there, in the system, this tank will start to chill, and then the pressure will drop, and it'll be harder to get it in. So I heat it up a little bit. Okay, still coming out. We're down to 20 inches of mercury. Anything below 26 is good. If it doesn't go down to 20, at least 26, you may have an insufficient compressor. And also, sometimes the gauge is inaccurate. So when this stops, we will continue. Okay, while we're waiting for that system to clear out, this is how you put liquid into the column. You never put liquid into the low side of the refrigeration system because you will smash the valves. You cannot compress a liquid. This is basic refrigeration. I'm looking at 2 ounces in here. I'm going to open up my valves and I'm watching that rise. We want to get it up to 7. 5, 6, 7. Okay, disconnect your tank. Okay, now there's still a little bit of air coming out of there. I can hear it. I can feel it actually against my ear. But we're down to about 29 inches of mercury. That's pretty good for a domestic refrigerator compressor. So I'm going to rule out that this compressor is inefficient. It is a strong compressor, and that's a good sign. So I'll give that a few more minutes, and then we'll put the Freon in. Okay, once we get all the air out, we're good. I don't hear anything. I don't feel anything coming out of the high side. So I'm going to disconnect my hose. I'm going to put a cap on there. Take your charging column and you invert it like so, because you do not want liquid to go into the system. You want vapor when you charge to the low side. So by turning the charging column upside down, the vapor, we know we have 7 ounces in there. So now we're just going to open up our valves, do a quick purge of air, just very small. That's it. And then we're going to open it up. And then we're going to let all that Freon, 7 ounces, go into the system. You can see it's going in. So here's your liquid down here as it boils off and flashes off. It's coming out as a vapor, and it's going into your low side of the system. Okay, so our charging column is heating up here and freezing up here, so we're going to heat it up. This will raise the pressure inside the column and force it into the system. You can see the back pressure is going up. Okay, we now have all the Freon is in the system now. Our back pressure is running about 3 pounds, which is normal for this model. So we're happy there. So now we're just going to button everything up. Secure this filter dryer with a cable tie. And take off our gauge. Put on our cap. That's it. Let's just check the temperature. Okay, the freezer's pulled down to 25. It's working well. Normal temperature, it's set at 0. Okay, and that's it. That's how you do seal system work. Thank you for watching.